Hello, today we are going to be modeling a really cool 3D staircase. We're also going to make it look real pretty with some nice materials and lighting at the end. And this is going to be all procedural, so you can customize it for your scene. So we're going to start off in Blender. I'm using 2.92, but you can use any modern version. So first we're going to start off with adding a plane. And we are going to tab into edit mode. We are going to scale it on the y-axis, so S for scale, Y to lock it, and then we're going to move it to over to the side while still in edit mode. This is going to keep the pivot point in the middle, and it's going to allow us to mirror across the x-axis, so we only have to do one half of the work. Now we're going to add a solidify modifier. This is just going to help us control the thickness, so we can change the thickness at any time. Now we're going to add in an empty. This is going to serve as our array for the staircase. So what you're going to want to do is make sure you're clicked on the stairs. We're going to change the stair count to about 12. That should be about good. And then we are going to uncheck relative offset, and we are going to check object offset, and we're going to get that empty. Now we want to go and select our empty, and we're going to move it on the y-axis. This is going to give us our depth. I kind of like to keep it right around there, and now we're going to lift it on the z to get our height, and then we are going to rotate it on the z. Now if you've run into this problem, here's why. Go back into your modifiers and move the array all the way to the top. That's going to solve that. Now, when we move our stairs together, there's a feature in the mirror modifier which is called clipping. So you're going to want to make sure that clipping is turned on. So now what we're going to do is we are going to click on the stairs. We're going to select that vertex, and we are going to go to mesh, and we're going to add a single vert over to that area. This is going to be our railing. Now, if you don't see that, go into add-ons, click on extra objects. Now, we're going to push E to extrude while we're in edit mode, and we're going to make sure that our snapping is set to vertex. So go up here, go to vertex, and we are going to extrude and push control to select it over to the railings, or excuse me, to the bottom right point. So we have everything lined up perfectly. So we don't have to do any tweaking of these railings later. We know it is right on. So I'm going to speed up the video till I get to the top of the stairs. We will be needing to do the other side, but we will have it mirrored on the other corresponding stairs. So now we're going to tab out of edit mode, and we're going to select our staircase again. We're going to select that other vertex back there, Shift S and 2 to lock it to that point, and then we are going to add a mesh and a single vert, and now we are going to repeat this process again, exactly as before, snapping it, but this time to the back left or the bottom left vertex of each stair. Now you have to make sure you have the vertex snapping enabled, and you have to make sure to do this, you're in edit mode, of course. This is a little bit more of a advanced tutorial, but to be honest, you're gonna need to know this stuff soon, and this is gonna apply to many things, even spiral stairs, because we also use the object offset. We just use it in a different capacity. So now, okay, and trust me, it's really not hard to do. That part takes a very quick time to do. So now we want to make sure that we have them as the same object. So we're going to Command J to make them the same object. Now we're going to add a mirror so we don't have to do it to the other side, except this time we're going to select the mirror object as being our stairs, which I didn't rename, so it's plain. So now we got it on the other side. So now what we are going to do, and I pushed the slash key to just isolate this right now, and we are going to put a subdivision surface on it because I really want to smooth out these vertices. So because it's really important to have a smooth railing. I know it's not always smooth, but sometimes I guess I just go a little OCD and I'm like, dude, I have to have it as smooth as possible. Also turning on clipping, as I talked about before, that's going to merge those two where they meet at the middle, so we do not have overlapping geometry. Now I'm going to apply all of these modifiers because I want to have that final result applied. So we're going to go into edit mode, push A to highlight all of the vertexes, and we're going to push E to extrude and Z to lock it to the Z axis. Now I'm going to go into edge select, and I'm going to push, while alt clicking the edges, I'm going to be holding shift just on this left side, which is the only side we can do because it's mirrored. And I'm going to select this outer railing here. So we're going to get that last bit right at the top. Now we're going to push shift D to duplicate this selection, right click to click it back into place, and we're going to push P, separate by selection. So now we have our nice railing. And we can do two things to turn this into a nice railing. We can either convert it to a curve and then use the curves, which I found didn't work as good in this situation, but what works better is using the skin modifier. So make sure that you mirror it back to that staircase. And now we're gonna add our skin modifier. Now the skin modifier, we're gonna have to do a little tweak very quickly. We want to select one of the edges on the opposite side and click Mark Root. Now it knows what we want to, how to add the railing properly. So we're going to push A while in edit mode to select all the vertexes, and now Control A to scale the thickness of our railing. It's important because in skin modifier you have to use Control A. So now we're going to select the bottom part, which was our sides, and we're going to do the wireframe. So now we get this wonderful look. Now we can control the thickness. Again, this is all procedural. You know I wouldn't lead you astray. And what we're going to do is, I want to have like the glass panels. So if you check Replace Original, you get those wonderful glass panels, and I'll show you how to get different materials for the glass panels and for the bars. So we're going to come up here and we're going to click on the material previewer in Eevee. This allows us to see our materials, and we're going to click on those side railings, and what we're going to do is we are going to give it a nice glass material. So I'm turning the whiteness all the way up, give it a little bit of a blue color, and then I'm going to go to roughness, and I'm going to turn that all the way down. And then I'm going to turn on screen space refraction, and I'm going to turn it to a refraction depth of 0.1. That really allows you to see through it perfectly. But what you need to do first is turn up the transmission, and that'll let you know just how see-through the stairs will be, which you'll want to experiment with that and the roughness value, really just to get the reflections you want. Then we're going to add another material to this matrix. This is going to be the bars, and you'll do that by clicking that plus button up there. So we're going to have it be a darker blue. Turn it all the way up to metallic. I'm going to tweak the roughness, lower it a little bit so it's a little bit reflective, and then under material offset we're going to click 1 because that was the material slot we just put this texture in. Now we're going to do the railings, so click the railings, and I'm going to move that whiteness all the way up and whack metallic all the way to 1, and I'm going to adjust roughness right now to get the sort of reflections that I'm looking for. So we're going to add a bevel. I'm going to go with 3 segments, and I'm going to adjust the amount till I get the profile that I like. I'm going to add a new material. I'm going to keep it maybe something pink with adding a few extras, which I won't include, but I can do that later if you want. Also, if you want to see a spiral staircase using the same method where you've got the real precise railings, let me know. Thank you for watching.